I'm just gonna wait for a couple more people to come in. We're gonna start at 12:02, just to keep the time. It is 12:02. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again so much for joining us for today's round two video pitch review sessions. I'm Pam Asante. I also have our colleagues Naya Ahmed and Claire Malloy representing AAAS, as well as our grant evaluation team, and then associates Dr. Kavita Minipali, Nina De Los Alas. I believe Debbie Igunbor should be joining us soon. And then also we have one of our board members, Dr. Ellie Finney, who will be helping us in our reviews today. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get us started. So our first team is Vector Guard. And so if you know you're on that team, if you could kindly just, I guess, get ready to address whatever questions come up after we view your pitch. And let me know if you hear the sound.
Vector Guard, your ultimate defense against vector-borne diseases. With Vector Guard, you can track outbreaks in real time, access vital education, support smart public health, and engage your community. Vector Guard is tailored for individuals aged 50 and above, along with individuals who love outdoor activities such as fishing, hiking, and other types of outdoor fun during the warm months. Vector Guard provides risk assessments to determine possible exposures and risk levels to West Nile virus, aiding in individual and community protection and management. The Vector Guard app offers several protective factors that help individuals and communities reduce the risk of vector-borne diseases, such as early detection and reporting, community surveillance, educational resources, public health integration, and behavior change.
Vector Guard app uses the user's location services and alerts the user when they are at an increased exposure level due to environmental risk, mosquito activity, and geographic location. Through the Vector Guard app, users have the capacity to locate the nearest testing locations for West Nile virus throughout the state. LabCorp Services is one of the testing sites readily available to most residents. Currently, West Nile data is available through ArboNet and the CDC website. Vector Guard differs by being easily available as an app for all Android and iPhone users.
Developing an app for West Nile virus features such as risk assessments, protective information, exposure alerts, and testing data can start at around $10,000 for a very basic version. However, a more comprehensive app typically ranges from $75,000 to $150,000 or more. The cost depends on the complexity, the platform, design, data integration, and ongoing support.
All right, thank you, Team Vector Guard. And if your team is called on, please turn on your cameras just so we can see you and so our reviewers can communicate with you directly. Thank you. So Dr. Finney, I don't know if you had any feedback, or Claire, Naya, Nina, Kavita.
Just a quick comment for the team if they are on. Nice work. One thing is you want to emphasize more, or maybe make it more clear, is about how you are accessing the data. You mentioned CDC, but how the individuals' protection would work. Is it just information sharing and via your app, which is connected to CDC information? How real time it is? And how do you provide protection? You mentioned all three aspects, but I only got one aspect, which is information sharing. But overall, you did a great job.
Thank
And
you.
then one second quick one, it's not as critical, but when you talk about the cost, you give us a bunch of number. I think the consumer or investor who listen, they want to know what is the product fee. So you mentioned at 1,000, 10,000, and then a 75 and more. Maybe cut down the more you choose. It's your product. So you decide how you want to market it. So have some more rigid number. I know you can't at this point, it's too early, but have some assumptions and so you don't leave it vague.
Thank you. Um, to piggyback off what you said, so I'm sorry, we are considering partnering up with the health department, so we can better have like a better app development, I guess. So like as we are with the app, we want to include the risk assessments to see like of course, who all is experiencing this within the area, but also we want to be able to kind of generate maps with like real time and to display like where are these cases coming out of in Mississippi, if that makes sense as well.
I think you should show all those you just mentioned. Yes.
Okay.
And you didn't mention your partner is actually the health department. So mention who is your channel to get this app out.
Okay.
I just wanted to add, I think that mentioning your partnership with the health department seems really beneficial, especially with the CDC's affiliation with the government being a little bit up in the air in terms of funding and with their data. So I think having more data partners will help to kind of prove that your app will be sound.
Thank you.
And that actually concludes the 3 minutes of feedback for Vector Guard. So thank you very much. And Blue Horizon will be up next.
Thank you, Naya. And just as a quick note as well, two of our additional two Maker Board advisory members have joined the call, Nina Archie and Dr. Ron Williams. And so feel free to turn on your cameras if you're available and come off mute whenever you get the chance to provide your feedback as we're reviewing the pitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Team Blue Horizon. My name is Wukata Mubanga and I'm the project lead, and this is my team. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 2.2 billion people around the world lack access to safe water. This is a widespread issue, especially amongst low-income communities because they are exposed to harmful contaminants such as lead, thereby posing a serious public health risk. Our solution, Blue Horizon, provides a solution to this problem through an AI-powered device that classifies water quality levels, thereby delivering real-time results and treatment suggestions. Blue Horizon analyzes water samples and classifies them either as safe, treatable, or dangerous. Our solution tackles SDG goals 3 and 6 by monitoring purity and ensuring safe water, and also tackles SDG goal 3 by detecting contaminants, thereby reducing health risk.
So how does Blue Horizon work? Our device will be able to be deployed at a target location and collect real-time water data. And with our dashboard app, we will be able to implement real-time monitoring and trigger alerts for whatever location the device might be in. In addition, we've also looked at our competitors that are in the field, and we have noticed that Blue Horizon offers a low-cost, AI-powered solution which leverages real-time results and is lab independent. With Blue Horizon, we do plan to target low to middle income homes as they are most affected with water purity issues, and we plan to secure funding through grants as well as smart home partnerships. In addition, we plan to offer all of this at a very low cost of $50 per unit to the customer. For us to actually manufacture this device, we have calculated that it will come to a total of $35 per unit, which will result in $15 profit per unit, which results in a profit for the overall business. So join us as we help scale this innovation to empower health. Let's make clean water affordable to all.
Thank you. And remember, safe water starts with Blue Horizon.
Thank you, Team Blue Horizon. If you're available to turn on your cameras, we'll start our feedback.
I don't know if you can actually offer any information on the type of sensor or the measurement accuracy. There are many competitors, as you know, for this technology. So the better you can fine tune on how your package works out, maybe off the shelf. You don't have to really invent a new sensor, but that would give you more credit to your technology if you have a good handle of how good your measurement is and what does it measure. Right now, there are many emerging pollutants that we just recently learning how to measure. So you can, by understanding the complexity of the issue, you can target your niche market to say, this is the way we're gonna detect, and this is as the best way or best commercial applications that can allow us to capture that. Well done. Thank you.
I have a question. So when you're speaking about the sensors, do you mean like we should be more transparent about what sensors we're using and what we're trying to detect? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Dr. Finney, you're muted.
You have to let your audience know you understand the complexity of this. This is not a simple thing that you just drop a sensor and it tells you all the magic. So the audience need to understand, whether you can solve it or not is a different question. First, recognize that, then target a specific niche part that you want to detect. There are so many things that makes us sick. Which part you are helping us with? And then if you can disclose, I would. But if you don't want to disclose the name of sensor, it's okay. But you just still have to say what are the specifics, because many sensors are useless, actually, honestly, out there. We can't even measure many of the contaminants with them.
All right, thank you.
Also, just to piggyback on Dr. Finney, Ms. Finney, I would say that I would say for a while I've seen inventions even come across as a patent examiner of someone trying to detect, certain bacterias in water filtration. So what she's saying is actually very on point with, if you can find any type of use cases that you want to apply to, with your technology as a solution, and then you're actually showing basically, like, for example, it could be, what is it? I forget that. It's like, forgive me if I say this wrong, but I think it's like Helicobacter pylori. But basically, it causes some form of disease, or I should say, virus in your stomach, essentially. So with that being said, it can come from, contamination of, water, or like typhoid fever. That also was another one that, basically comes from like some form of contamination of water or food. So my thing is that if you basically are going to be selling this one to a targeted customer, and you have not discussed what the pain points are. So what she's saying in regards to the sensors, or even particular, like, whether it's particular diseases or things that basically a bacteria that is causing, some of these things that are in bacteria, then like she said, she's very accurate in saying, if it's going to be very broad, I think you would struggle, even if you did have a competitive analysis, because that competitive analysis, they person probably would want to know, okay, well, we have a high concentration of people that are always getting sick from the water that's coming from particular bacteria, but you can't actually say that this one actually does, basically prevent that. Then I don't know if a customer would be interested, particularly in your product, especially if they already know of one that they're currently using, where even if it's not even completely effective, it's somewhat effective, right? So that's a big competition that you're going to be basically measuring, is like, if somebody's already using again, some form of system that they're using or some form of sensor detection. And let's say it's not even like, all the way accurate. But if you can't tell them, that yours is accurate, or at least at the level of, like she's saying, metrics at the level where theirs is, why would they want to basically invest or, basically use your particular product? Another thing I would also start looking
Sorry,
into.
Nina, we're actually gonna have to conclude the feedback for this team. You're totally fine. If you wouldn't mind just jotting that down, we're gonna send all the feedback to the teams when the meeting concludes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And we're gonna progress with team Smart Match. Sorry, team NourishNet.
SDG goals are project addresses.
At NourishNet, we are focused on contributing to a world where there's zero hunger through responsible consumption and production. We do this through 3 R's: rescue, repackage, and resell. We rescue food that would otherwise be thrown out. We repackage it in a fitting container and sell it at a cheaper price to our customers. Leveraging gamification and other benefits, we keep our users coming back.
According to World Food Programs, 1/3 of the food that is meant for human consumption is wasted. In the US alone, 60 tons of food are wasted every single year.
At the same time, food insecurity affects 14% of Americans, including 1 in 5 households with children.
So we introduced NourishNet, a platform where people who have excess foods are connected with people who are in need of good food at cheaper or no cost.
Our targeted users on the consumer side are millennials and Gen Z who are looking for an eco-conscious vendor, and low-income families who are looking for an affordable and high-quality vendor. Our target users on the supply side are restaurants and grocers, which are both looking for a way to reduce food waste and maximize profits.
The proposed cost to develop and sustain NourishNet in year 1 is $250,000 US. This covers tech development, logistics, compliance, marketing, and operations. Our business model includes a freemium platform, premium features for partners, logistic fees, and CSR sponsorships. We will partner with food banks, restaurants, and delivery services to ensure sustainability and community impact.
Our group chose to create a platform that connects people with excess food to those in need, offering food at low to no cost. This prototype is important because it directly addresses 2 major issues: food waste and hunger. By making food donation easier and more accessible, our platform provides a practical solution to reduce food waste and support food insecure communities. This is NourishNet.
All right, Team NourishNet, if you all could turn on your cameras as our reviewers are providing their feedback.
It seems that the product come as very clear as platform. One question is your channel. You need very strong partnership on both sides of supply chain, not only on the customer like other technologies. You also need a big partnership on the supply. So maybe you want to make a better, clear value proposition on how you attract both sides. People who will work with you, groceries or whoever, suppliers, and consumers, both sides. I wasn't clear how you will actually make it a successful business without having these 2 elements really rigid and clear. But well done.
Dr. Williams and Nina, Archie, did you have any feedback as well? Or?
No particular feedback on this one.
Same for me. Same for me. I thought it was a good, definitely a good presentation. One of the things I would just note, and you guys may have done this, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in the presentation, but I would check also with like if there are any government or state regulations around basically, the excess of food and, whether or not it can be freely, given. Is there some form of contractual things that have to be done? Just in regards to like, if somebody's, restaurant or whomever is sued. So I would make sure that you look into any type of regulations around that.
I would also just add, I think the presentation was great. I would consider looking into an app called Too Good to Go. They work with businesses and restaurants in the local area to redistribute their food waste. It's obviously not the same thing as what your team has going on here, but just something to try to contrast your business model from an existing one.
One quick another comment is when you deal with this type of businesses, you also need to think about the storage and the lead time between the delivery and the sending it out. Most of these businesses deal with such a challenge, so think about that as well. When you receive it, how do you deliver it? Is it point to point? And the storage is a big cost of itself. So just think about it.
Thank you so much for your feedback. That will conclude for that team. And up next will be Smart Match.
That sound, I have heard it before. I've heard it from my mom, dad, and grandmom, and it is not unique to me. Here's the problem. Over 80% of US counties lack proper access to healthcare. Underserved communities are twice as likely to suffer from chronic diseases, and yet these communities are barely represented in clinical trials or provided culturally competent care.
Our solution Smart Match, aligning with UN SDG 3 and 10, changes that. We connect users to culturally competent providers they can trust, real-time clinical trial alerts they qualify for, virtual consultations from anywhere, and even mail-in testing kits for at-home diagnostics.
Our app is user-friendly and anyone can use it. You just have to create an account and sign in. Here, you can find available relevant clinical trials in your location and select any. Also, you can pick any labs of your choice and schedule appointments with doctors both virtually and in person, based on your preferences, right from the comfort of your home.
Our target market is Louisiana, and with over 125 billion in the US addressable market, our model is scalable with free access, subscription tiers, and strategic partnerships. Unlike other health platforms, SmartMatch stands out by providing culturally tailored matching, predictive tech, and mailing testing straight from home.
This is Team SmartMath, with experience ranging from research to entrepreneurship to leadership. We've built an interactive prototype, won pitch prizes, and we're also in early conversations with the Oshna LSU Health. From surveying about 100 people, 90% said yes to Smart Match.
We're seeking 150,000 to further develop our products. Quality healthcare services must be accessible and affordable for all, not just those in certain zip codes or tax brackets. At Smart Match, we believe healthcare shouldn't be a privilege, it's a right. Thank you.
I thought the presentation was really good, and I really like the fact that you guys put in specifically your ask and what you want it directly for. A lot of times people do not, state, or they can't tell you exactly like if they were to receive any funding, what they want to use it for. So I thought that was a really good thing that you did.
You may want to also look at other similar apps online. I'm aware of at least 2 of them. So when you say other, who are other? It's good to show to your investors and judges, on the pitch day, that you actually understand the competitive landscape. Who are the other app? I know you're targeting a specific state, but most of these apps, they are pretty broad. So they don't care if it's like a very limited because it's mostly actually online cloud based. So understand your competitor. I put some names in the evaluation, check them out, read about them, learn how they are doing, and discuss how you differentiate or how yours is better. It doesn't have to be better, but understand your landscape.
The only feedback I have is very, very, very good, and I concur with the other feedback you received. I do like the fact that you highlighted your successes in other pitches, and I would like to hear more about that. I don't know if others concur, but have you are the dollar amounts associated with it some way of I guess quantifying or better communicating what actually that success is more specifically?
Thank you so much. I'm a member of Team Smart Match, and I had a question about the competitors. So we did have it on the slides, but would you just mean you want us to actually directly say like, oh, these are the exact names of the competitors and these are the exact things we differentiate from them? Because we have that on the slides. I just don't know if that was maybe breezed through. That's why you didn't
You don't
notice.
have to mention their names, but having it on the slide is good enough, but you still have to say in what way you are better.
Okay.
You don't have to mention we are better in this way from this company or better from that way in this company. The general landscape is this, and this is how we compare. We may be the same or whatnot, but mention why yours versus another one. Actually, I know one in your own estate. So why yours, not the other one?
Okay.
Understand?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. That will conclude the feedback for team. And we're going to go right on to team Plant GPT.
Other place? I know I have. 50% of home gardeners experience crop failure. This is due to lack of experience and improper watering. So that doesn't have to be the case.
With Plant GPT, your plants can talk to you and tell you exactly what they need. Our solution is an AI-powered conversational assistant that provides tailored care recommendations using real-time data gathered from your plants so that you can provide the necessary care.
Dignity. I suppose it's time for my caretakers to take notice of my plight. Given the sensor data, my leaves are looking a tad parched, so immediate watering is in order.
Plant GPT will allow people with small-scale gardens such as urban, local, and community gardens to access plant technology. Plant GPT intends to mitigate common problems regarding gardening, such as lack of knowledge regarding local humidity, sun exposure, and other needs that the plant must maintain. With this technology, local communities can address the UN Sustainability Goal 2 of ending hunger, achieving food security, and promoting more sustainable agriculture. The second goal we're achieving is Goal 12, ensure sustainable consumption and connection patterns. Plant GPT will address this by enabling people to produce their own crops in the face of water and soil scarcity. This allows growers to conserve Earth's finite resources while promoting local, sustainable food production. Currently, there are many companies that provide remote sensing technology like OneSoil and Fermata. But none of these are accessible to your average home gardener. We envision our technology to be spread across households and small farms across the country, enabling everyone to have a green thumb.
When bringing Plant GPT to market, we will operate on a direct sales plus premium business model, where users will purchase our hardware sensors for $70, download our app for free, and if they would like some more in-depth support, they can also subscribe to the premium version for $4.99 a month.
Plant GPT has the potential to revolutionize plant stewardship, making it more data-driven, personalized, and accessible. Invest in the future of plant care with Plant GPT!
All right, Team Plant GPT, if you all can turn on your cameras, you're able to while our reviewers provide their feedback.
I thought it was very nice pitch. One thing that you might want to focus on, what type of information. When you think about plant, it involves soil health, plant health, air, water. I know you talk about some of this, but is it just a specific part of it? Like if a plant dies, it's not just because it doesn't have enough water, right? So you understand that. But how much of it goes to the soil chemistry, soil composition, how much is about plant itself, about environment, pollution in that environment. So what type of information and what is the boundary? Maybe you can specify this is our boundary that we can provide you with information. And I know this is country specific. I know some country dealing with soil pollution that are killing their plants or some sort of insects that is killing the plants. If your app doesn't cover those, it's fine, but you need to, I guess, set up the boundary of what you intend to cover as far as information and helping the plant growers.
To add to that just a bit, there are a number of apps that do this. So maybe a little bit more information about competitors, and I think being a little bit more specific in just as Dr. Finney said about where your focus is and how are you going to solve the problem would be helpful too. But I was a little bit confused because there are a number of apps that on the market that do this, but they're pretty, I guess, how are you going to differentiate yourself from them, and who are the competitors that you are up against? That's it.
I also wanted to reiterate in the last couple seconds here from the first video pitch review that we had. I brought up a concern about highlighting the sustainable aspect of Plant GPT while utilizing AI as the main source of the app itself. I know that you're targeting UN Goal 12, which talks about providing sustainable food structures in the face of soil and water scarcity. I just want to ask you again to look into how AI operates and the amount of water that's actually necessary to produce AI computations, and how that might actually conflate with the goal that you're identifying in your project.
Can I respond to your our project doesn't use like those type of big data centers. It uses Llama, which is offline and on your own machine. So it uses your own laptops, like materials that are provided. So it doesn't go to those data centers and use all that water.
That would definitely be helpful to add into your presentation. Thank you for addressing that. And that concludes the review session for Plant GPT. And next we'll have Smart Biocrete.
Every year, concrete cracks cost us billions of dollars in repairs. But what if the concrete could heal itself, just like humans can?
A traditional concrete is strong, but it is brittle because it is prone to cracking. Once it's cracked, the cost of repairing is kind of expensive, and this causes frequent repairs.
We are Team Smart Biocrete, a group of passionate engineers building smarter and greener materials for the future.
We created Smart Biocrete, a revolutionary material that uses bacteria to autonomously repair cracks safely, sustainably, and intelligently.
Our innovation aligns with global goals. Smart Bioconcrete supports the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which are reducing carbon emission, improving infrastructure resilience, and building smarter and sustainable communities.
We use bacterial spores that are entrapped in clay aggregates, such as this, to create a living material that heals itself, just like a human bone. We use vacuum encapsulation, freeze drying, oven drying, and cement coating to protect the spores while they're in their normal form, which they can last for decades.
Once the crack forms, the bacteria come to life, and this helps to precipitate calcium carbonate, which is also limestone, and this seals a crack of up to like 0.5 millimeters.
Smart Biocrete can be mixed just like regular concrete. While it costs about 3 to 4 times more than traditional concrete due to bacterial encapsulation, it outperforms chemical additives like Zypex or Vertua Ultra, which degrade over time. It requires no external maintenance and no extra labor. Our bacteria-based system lasts centuries. It reduces life cycle costs and repair frequency.
Right now, no company in the United States is making bacterial self-healing concrete. In Europe, Green Bay Civils, which is a company, and they are making bacterial self-healing concrete, but they haven't entered the US market. So our plan is to license Smart Biocrete to government agencies and construction firms here.
With bacterial self-healing concrete, the future of construction is truly alive. And
thank you for supporting and creating a smarter tomorrow.
Thank you, Team Smart Pilotry. So if you're available, we can turn on the cameras.
Well done. One quick comment is, even though you mentioned there is no company working on this in the US, there are many US patent office issued patents. So if the healing, self-healing concrete, depending on what bacteria and how you make sure the capsule breaks and facilitate calcium precipitation, there are patents around that. So for your technology, if it is different, you may want to identify what is the value proposition or specifics to yours that is protectable, or maybe something around that area. I know at the end you mentioned you're going to license from the Europe company, but the licensing, I guess, is a different pathway for this type of innovation. Most teams here are thinking about addressing a problems via a new innovation. So licensing or bringing another company or creating a chain, it's a different attributes. Either way is your decision, of course, your team's decision, but you may want to clarify whether that company, the licensing would be even possible in US, because there are a bunch of patents already in the US in this technology. If there is no company already active, it doesn't mean there is no barrier to create a new company. There may be IPs, which I know at least 2 from Massachusetts, 1 from MIT, that is protecting the self-healing. So you may want to check the landscape of technologies around this and patents around this, and then decide if it's the licensing. Have you connected to the European company? Is this something you are exploring in more depths? But overall, it's a nice pitch, and you cover different aspects. I think I would put more emphasis on the feasibility and practicality of what you've just proposed in terms of actually creating a business aligned with this.
Dr. Williams, Amina Archie, or anyone else from the AAAS or Emin Associates teams, if you have any feedback.
I think Dr. Finney covered it all.
Yes, same for me.
Cool. All right, so with that, then we'll be moving on to our next team, Unprinter.
Hi everyone, we are Timon Printer, and our mission is to transform how the world deals with paper waste. Each year, over 34 billion exam sheets are printed, and that costs more than 755,000 trees, and these are discarded or treated with polluting chemicals right after use. What touches the most is that trees take decades to grow, but we are cutting them down by the thousands every single year. Our solution is very simple: a reverse printer that uses green laser to vaporize ink from paper in order to make it instantly reusable.
Our business model is simple. We charge just half a cent per paper erase using pay-per-use model. We are in discussion to pilot on printer with the West African Examination Council, and success here could unlock millions in revenue. Our main focus is large educational institutions and exam bodies across Africa, where paper-based exam remains widespread and wasteful.
We took on this challenge because other solutions fall short. Epson's paper lab costs over 100,000 and shreds the paper. Alternatives like Indian sweep rely on chemicals that quickly ruin the sheets. Even if 500 institutions reuse 1 million sheets each year, we can save more than 400,000 trees, delivering massive environmental and financial benefits. We are in the research and developmental phase with a digital prototype ready, and we are raising $70,000 to build our first physical device.
Our device on printer It's a movement to end paper waste. Just don't be late to join the change. Thank you.
Thank you, team Unprinter. And so if you're available, you can turn on your cameras.
I'll jump in. Very, very, very good pitch. And I'm curious because of my lack of knowledge. Are there, and this is for the team, I guess, your competitors, are there currently competitors out there that are using a similar technology or approach to solving this problem?
Yes, please. Currently, RIP Technologies, located in Israel, is trying to do this very same thing, but they have to coat their paper with a certain chemical to be able to wipe off all inks.
Okay, thank you.
I really enjoyed the presentation and the product explanation. I think that the visuals really allowed for people who might not have been able to understand exactly how this process would be conducted to visualize exactly what would be possible. So great work.
Thank you.
No comments on my end. Great work.
Thank you.
Right, so if there aren't any additional comments, we'll transition over to EduCycle.
Greetings and welcome to the EduCycle video pitch. The members are Ms. Phillips, Ms. Coker, Ms. Reynolds, Ms. Mixon, Mr. Scholes, and Ms. Hampton. Our advisor is Dr. Allegan. Please enjoy.
We chose this project because students from low-income families often lack access to clothing, which can impact confidence and academic performance. Our automated closet offers discreet, zero-waste access to upcycled clothes using tech-based verification, supporting both emotional well-being and the environment.
Our project addresses good health and mental well-being, quality education, and sustainable cities and communities. Our goal is to help improve student confidence, which will also in turn help boost their self-esteem and academic performance. One of our other main goals is to upcycle old and condemned clothing into high-quality pieces, which will allow anyone to donate anything while ensuring the clothes are still valuable for students.
The EduCycle is an automated closet where students can discreetly pick up needed clothing items using verification methods. We aim to collaborate with companies like TJ Maxx, Ross, and JCPenney to support sustainable practices by upcycling or repurposing donated clothing in any condition, promoting a zero-waste policy. Ultimately, the EduCycle aims to ease the burden on students facing financial hardships by helping them feel supported, included, and better able to focus on their education.
The target audience of the EduCycle project will be parents, kids, and teens. The goal of this project is for children who need to get clothes while not wanting to be embarrassed in front of their peers are now able to go in the EduCycle project and get those clothes while being discreet, as well as parents being able to help clean some of their kids' messy rooms by them donating their clothes.
We estimate our total cost to be around $35,000, $30,000 for development, $1,000 for upkeep, and $4,000 for outreach. We came up with these numbers broken apart through desire to make an affordable product to help communities while still making enough money to sustain the project and for most of the budget to go to research and development to bring better and consistent improvements to the product.
Thank you, team EduCycle. So if you're available, you can turn on your cameras as we're providing the reviews. Thank you.
Just one quick thing, maybe you can elaborate more in next round, is how you manage all the logistics and supply chain or storage, handling, and the physical things associated with this service, which would cost you as the company in the middle between the those who donate and those who actually need this service. I think the logistics is the key killer if you don't handle it well here.
Yes. Oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
just one point. I put it also in the notes. To piggyback, I would just say that I would put a little bit more explanation or emphasis on your value proposition as it relates to the logistics. So not only do they understand how things work, but then they also understand the value proposition of this. Because if you one, explain the logistics part, which is operational, but they still can't pinpoint the value proposition of it, I think you still may run into some barriers. So just make sure you align those.
Yeah, I think both of the previous comments kind of sum up my comments, and I didn't know logistics is a good place to begin to explain more, and also the value proposition to the person who may be donating clothes, but also the recipients. And I was going to refer to it as customer journey, but I'm not sure that captures everything. But just more specific about end-to-end use or process for your business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. They are very wonderful comments. And definitely, I will convince the message to the students group. And they are very passionate about the project. As you know, there are many wonderful students. They don't have the facilities such as like this. Because of that, they don't have a good opportunity to come forward and present their credentials. So that is why the students, they started to think about in these directions, how we can bring these incredible students, they don't have the opportunity to come forward. But all the messages, all the comments, suggestions that you provided, those are such a valuable. The maintenance is a very important, the logistic is a very important comment. I really take it into serious considerations. And that being said, in the campus, I don't know how this can work, but in the campus already we have clothing projects. We have set up many rooms for students to come and collect clothing or whatever necessary stuff. These are all donations. So either we can partnership with them to do the work, or this is, I need to talk to the group and find out what is the logistics. What kind of outlets in Montgomery, Alabama, they can support this initiative to answer the question that you are asking, the logistics, such as Kmart or Walmart. I'm just naming few outlets. So what are the institutions available in Montgomery? We can talk to them and find out whether this can be taken into a next level, which I don't know at this point, or otherwise the campus initiative can cooperate with us and take it to the logistic part. So these are very hypothetical answer that I'm providing here, but definitely I will convince the message to the students group and we will come up with a very solid finding and answer. How do we overcome these challenges? Thank you so
for
much.
your response. Thank you so much. We're going to move on with our next team. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to the AAAS team regarding the feedback that we were able to provide you today.
We have built Newsbug, a browser extension that lets you verify what you see, one screenshot at a time. The spread of misinformation online is growing faster than fact checkers can keep up. 66% of internet users say that they've been exposed to fake news, and most of it is passed around through images, not links. Yet no tools exist that can check screenshots of visual content on the fly. Newsbug changes that. With just one click, users can take a screenshot, and our AI analyzes the content for false claims, biases, or unverified sources. It's simple, fast, and integrates directly into your browser. This is how it works. First, you click Newsbug, then you take a screenshot. The AI analyzes the text and source, and then you get an instant credibility report right in your browser. No extra tabs, no guesswork. We'll offer a free tier for everyday users. Our paid version includes advanced fact analysis and priority support for journalists and researchers. We'll also license Newsbug's API to educational institutions and media organizations. This is how it looks in action. A user sees something suspicious, they click on Newsbug, it takes a screenshot, and then the user immediately gets the verified credibility result. Current tools like Snopes and PolitiFact are limited. They focus on links and articles. Google fact check flags some content, but nothing lets users check screenshots in real time with AI. Newsbug stands out by meeting users where they are, and it allows you to do this inside the content you consume through the web browser.
Thank you, Team Newsbug. So if you're available, you can turn on your cameras as we're doing the review.
I like that you compare with three existing, at least one quite well-known platform, but I think you can elaborate more because at this point, as a potential consumer of your service, I'm not convinced that your service is better than the three that you offered. Even though you put a box there and the table and check mark, I think it lacks information. So if you're in terms of ease, in terms of accuracy, all those things you can improve your pitch by saying how and why. Because it's something if I say, well, my product is better. It's a very different thing if I actually show and prove that it's better. I think that part is lacking. I have used two of the app that you mentioned, two of the fact checks. I have used it myself. So maybe you want to use them and get a better feeling of what is lacking. So you have a better grasp of it while pitching it. Well done. Thank you.
Yep, I don't have any additional feedback for
Same for me.
Newsbug.
All right, then that will conclude the feedback for that team, and we will move right along with our last team, Ocean AI.
Every minute, a truckload of plastic enters our oceans. The North Pacific garbage patch now holds over 1.8 trillion pieces. This isn't just environmental damage. It's a threat to ecosystems, coastal communities, and our shared future. We are tackling this through UN Sustainable Development Goal 14, which is life below water.
We created Ocean AI drones, an intelligent fleet of surface drones that autonomously identify and retrieve ocean plastics. With precision and speed, they clean our waters, protecting marine life before it's too late. Our current prototype is in development, and we are actively building towards real-world testing and deployment.
Each unit can cover 5 miles, reach a mile deep, and clean thousands of liters per hour, working in a smart farm and cleaning microplastics faster and more efficiently. Unlike existing competitors, Ocean AI goes deeper, further, and features what others miss, microplastics, and we're fully powered by nature. Now to the cost. Each wheel and drone unit would cost $7,000, totaling $1.1 million for 5 years of impact. But don't worry too much about the cost because we believe that the plastics recovered by Ocean AI could offset this cost.
We're building a closed-loop system. The plastic we collect is recycled and sold to companies and governments to create sustainable products. This is to companies in Hawaii, Japan, and California. Ocean AI doesn't just clean the ocean. It fuels a circular economy and empowers global action. Join us in powering the change.
Thank you, Team Ocean AI. Sorry, Dr. Finney, I see you came on.
Yeah, I like the pitch. Well done. One thing that I think you should emphasize more is plastic in ocean is not a typical bottle of plastic you find on the landfill. You know, these are degraded, different size, and grabbing them is a different dynamic. So having a robot floating around and sort of, collecting these pieces is it takes a different level of technology. I don't know how much you invested on the tech side and the robot. I see a cool robot that you show on the video, but if the robot is actually designed to remove the ocean microplastic, is it ocean big pieces of plastic? So that you need to specify because plastic now it takes a big forms, and you just touch my one of my research areas. So this is actually pretty big for me. We're looking at plastic waste and converting it to value-added products. So one thing, the second thing you want to, I guess, emphasize is you mentioned the cost. The reason we have so much waste is the cost dynamics doesn't work out. So it's not really easy to say it will pay back if we just sell the plastic. The cost or value of the collected plastic is not there yet. So people are trying to create higher upcycling, added value to make up, the difference, to sell the product at a point that attracts people to collect them. The reason we have so much in Hawaii, mentioned California, it's because the cost dynamics is not there. It's not economically viable. So then re-look your $7,000 that you mentioned. Don't worry, it's easy. It will pay back. I think you need to pay more attention to that. And then the third element is partnership. Many of the collection right now is being done is always with government agency, state agency, philanthropic. So think about who will help you in this endeavor. I love it. But to make up the cost, you either have to look at the downstream, maybe check out some of the technology from my group. We're trying to really come up with things that make sense in terms of cost. So somebody will care to collect the plastic. So two things, really. What plastic you collect, what type, size, and second, can you really make money and make a business around it? Well done. I love the topic. It's really a real problem. I actually posted an article yesterday on LinkedIn about the plastic. Right now, there is an article saying we are inhaling a huge number of plastic that we were not aware of before. All the estimates came out before were underestimating what we are inhaling on daily basis. So it is a huge problem. I concur with the significance of it, but find out if you can really create a viable business around it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your feedback. And that will conclude all of the video pitch reviews and the feedback. Hope you were taking notes. We will also be gathering notes from our supporting faculty here to provide to you at the end of today's meeting. We're going to go ahead and move forward with our poll. If you wouldn't mind just taking a few minutes to fill it out and complete it.
And after the poll, we'll provide more general feedback for today's pitches as well as some quick announcements. So we're gonna try to end at 1:10. If you're able to stay on. And please do take the time to complete the polls because they help us in improving each session. And so once you provide your feedback, we're able to kind of take it in, see what we need to revamp, how to pivot, things to even prep as we're getting ready for the next session. So this is actually the second to last e-mentoring session. Our final session is coming up. I guess I can do this announcement now. Coming up at the end of not the end of September, early September, specifically September 10th from 12 to 1 p.m. And we'll send out this information in our follow-up emails we usually do. We'll also be sending out information about our logistics, September 4th, and then the final video pitches are actually due September 18th. And again, we'll be sharing this out via email, so please do take the time to read them. If you have any questions before the pitch presentation, don't hesitate to reach out to us at hbcumaker@AAAS.org. If we don't have the answers, there's someone within our community of practice that may be able to direct you in the right space. All right, I'm going to end the poll now. Thank you all so much for participating. And so for those who are still able to hang on, I'm going to try to keep this very quick. So basically, thank you all so much again for your hard work in creating these video pitch presentations. You've definitely taken the time to incorporate the feedback that's being shared, which is awesome. And we know that as you present during the September showcase, you guys will be experts in your different spaces. But just as some general feedback, just making sure to keep to the 2-minute mark. You do have an extended period of time during the in-person pitches in September. You have 2 minutes to present your actual video and then 3 minutes to elaborate more on whatever you weren't able to cover in the video. And so I think Dr. Ellie may have pointed out to this earlier, but just trying to get to the core of what you want your audience to know about your product, getting to the core of that in the actual video pitch, and then preparing to elaborate more on that during the allotted time that you're given. And then we'll also have time for feedback as well from the video pitch reviewers. And so we'll have our community of practice, more members of our community of practice that will be available to kind of help out with the Q&A. And then also in trying to keep to the 2-minute mark, we noticed that some speakers may be sped up a bit more compared to others. And so we just want to make sure that everyone is kept at the same speed during video production, just so everything is clear. If you want to add captions, to basically help the audience understand your content better, that would also be helpful as well. Just want to make sure that your audience is able to really take in what you're saying. And then also just beginning and ending properly. And so for some individuals, they may have done like a quick intro, which is good because we know that you have to keep to time. But if you have like a quick slide just showing all the presenters' names, make sure that we have time to kind of like digest the slide really quick before you transition into the rest of the presentation. And then also just checking your body language if you are presenting on camera, if you're presenting as like a full body presentation, you just want to make sure that you're relaxed, your arms aren't crossed, just making good eye contact. So, again, that also feeds into the presentation. I don't know if anyone had any additional feedback from the AAAS team or M&A associates, our reviewers. I think I covered all of the bases, but again, I want to be mindful about time. So I wanted to condense myself down as quickly as possible. All right, and if anyone has any questions, we'll linger on until 1:10. But also we're available via email. If that doesn't work, I think some of you may have my number because been cold calling. So yeah, just to show that we're readily available to support as much as we can. Please do take advantage of the resources that you're being provided. You want to make sure that you excel as you're presenting your final pitches in September. All right, thank you all so much for joining again. So this basically concludes our session. Our team will hang on internally, but everyone else is free to head on out. Thank you so much, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of your week.